Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me on my channel today. I'm really excited for this video because I wasn't able to put one up last weekend because I was really feeling under the weather. I'm starting to feel a little bit better, but I'm still a bit sick. But I'm just so excited to be talking with you guys again. I really, over the years, have spent a lot of time focusing on fragrance categories because I have found in my fragrance journey, I've really jumped from, okay, I need my perfect floral scent, I need my perfect citrus scent, I need my perfect woody scent, and so this video may be the beginning of a series of like my perfection scents. And so in this video, I have 5 very special woody fragrances for you all, and to me, these are 5 perfect woody fragrances. The first fragrance that is on my list is Tam Dao by Diptyque in the Eau de Toilette concentration. You know, usually the Eau de Toilette concentrations for Diptyque still tend to be my favorite. I like the Eau de Parfums as well, but unless it's one of the models that really doesn't get a lot of longevity for me, I find I really like the moderate wear of Diptyque. The EDT still give me a solid 4 hours of wear, and for their style of fragrances, I just feel like that works for me. Tam Dao especially has pretty good longevity. I'll get up to 6 hours of wear from it. And to me, the reason that I love this fragrance, it was one of my first favorite Diptyques, along with Philosopos, which is a fig. But Tam Dao is this delicious, creamy sandalwood. There's also some cedar notes. There's a touch of cypress, but to me, this is really one of the truest sandalwood scents out there. And it has been for a really long time. And there's this milky creaminess, but again, also the wood is there. It's straightforward sandalwood to me. And I love that about it. I think because it's simple, it's linear, the way it starts is the way it ends, gives it a lot of elegance and refinement. This fragrance just smells so beautiful. It makes you feel so peaceful, so zen, just calm, confident, and I love that about this fragrance. It works in all weather, whether it's cold or hot. It's just really beautifully done and true to such an expensive and exquisite wood. So sandalwood is material that is just so laden with history. It excuse me, I'm getting over my sickness, but it's been used to build temples, and just used in like religious practices. They will grind it into a paste and put it on their skin because it has skin perfecting properties. But it's also, especially the Indian variety, which is the creamiest, milkiest, most delicious variety, very expensive, upwards of $2,000 a kilo normally, and very difficult to work with because it is performing, but you can't use it at high amounts, and it's not as performing as other naturals. And so to have a fragrance to really be true to that scent, or to give a good interpretation of that scent, I think is so special. The next fragrance on my list is Lalique Encre Noire à l'extrême. You all know, if you watch this channel, that I love Lalique Encre Noire. A lot of times I just buy the Eau de Toilette or the Eau de Parfum version, you know, my brain today, but you know, just the original one. But lately, I've really been moving towards the à l'extrême version. I think the original will always have a very special place in my heart. It was one of the first kind of out there fragrances I ever tried on myself, and it really just depends on the mood I'm in. I feel like the original is a bit more daring. There's a bit more of these rough edges, and I like that. To me, that's very intriguing. The à l'extrême really rounds all that off with all these like kind of ambery notes, a touch of musk, but the heart here is still this dark, inky vetiver. Here we also have a touch of cypress, but it's a dark vetiver. I like the à l'extrême because, again, I said in this video, I want fragrances that you're just gonna feel amazing and attractive wearing. And while for me, that is the more kind of daring original, I think for most people, they like a fragrance with these more rounded out edges. And again, I feel like I am a little bit biased towards the original because it has such a special place in my heart. But I think for the average where they might prefer the Encre Noire à l'extrême version, I think you don't necessarily need both, but they're also both very affordable fragrances, so it doesn't hurt to have both in your collection. And that way, if you're a big lover of it like I am, you know, you can try out both. But I really like what they did with this version, where they took the character of the original and they made it a little bit more palatable. Again, they added these materials that kind of makes it meld into the skin better, added a slightly more addictive facet, more rounded out facet. And I also really, really love this version. The next fragrance on my list is Wonderwood by Comme des Garcons. And actually something that I noticed while putting together this list is the notes list for a lot of these are the same, and yet all of these fragrances smell very different to me. So here again, you have cedarwood, sandalwood, cypress, and the only difference I think from the other two fragrances is this also has the Gaiac wood. But all three of these fragrances smell completely different other than that they're woody fragrances. Here I think you're back in the creaminess, but where Tam Dao was creamy sandalwood, here you have the creaminess truly of the three woods, and especially the Gaiac wood. Gaiac wood is a very creamy wood, and it does have a touch of fruitiness, not unlike a raspberry, almost like a smoky raspberry, but it's not sweet at all. So if you're like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that, I'd say still try it. This fragrance smells so good to me. It's a wood done to perfection. It smells very clean, a little bit smoky, obviously very woody, very creamy, works year round. Really, again, melds to your skin, and that's something I find very true about woody fragrances, and you also generally get at least moderate longevity and projection out of them, so that's always really nice too. So I was going to make this a top 5, but ultimately the other fragrance I was going to put on here, which is Black Afgano, I don't feel is such a straightforward wood because it's also very resinous. There's also a lot of tobacco. Some people get a cannabis note. I find it to be a little bit ambery, and it does have a woody note, but it's not a straightforward wood. I think there's a lot of other stuff going on in it. And so I love this fragrance. It's technically on this list, but I don't know if it actually fits into this woody category, but I don't know where else to put it. But yes, Black Afgano, if you like a woody vibe, but you're okay with these very green notes, this resinous notes, this tobacco, also worth checking out. But I want to spend more time on like the true woody fragrances because that's what you came here for. The last fragrance on my list is Oud Wood by Tom Ford, and I love this fragrance. It is so well done. It just hits everything for me. It's a complex, woody fragrance. To me, it's even now still very different from other ouds on the market, and that could be because it's not a straightforward oud. There's an oud facet, but to me it's not so reminiscent of oud oil. There's also this mix of sandalwood, some rosiness, but it's not a sweet rose. I wouldn't say this is a sweet fragrance. It's quite creamy. You'll probably see that as a thread in most of the fragrances that I've mentioned in this list, except for maybe the Lalique Encre Noire or the Black Afgano. I wouldn't say those two are creamy, but these other three are. I love these creamy woods. I feel like that kind of lactonic creamy facet is what gives that kind of intrigue in a woody fragrance. It's what gives the comfort, it's what gives the sex appeal. And so I really love creamy woody fragrances. Yeah, but really this Oud Wood by Tom Ford, it's so elegant. I was gonna say it's so masculine, but I also like to wear it myself, but I think on a man it smells very masculine. It's a powerful fragrance. It's still very refined. I think it's one of those fragrances you can wear, you know, from day to night, which is really nice about it because it has some sexiness to it, but it's still a straightforward woody fragrance. You know, it has the sandalwood, the oud, the rose, and the other notes are just kind of in touches around, I think. So it still has a lot of refinement to it, and it just works in so many settings and smells so good. Please let me know, what are your woody masterpieces? What are your best ofs in this category? I would love to know what they are and smell them if I haven't. So yes, thank you all for joining me so much in this video. I hope it was okay to follow along, you know, even though I'm not feeling so great. Yeah, but I'm so excited to see your thoughts in the comments below. Bye, everyone.